Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Ryan Tamori. I'm one half of the owners of New Mexico Alumni Media or the Pitt Press Live. So on behalf of Eric Moulton, who couldn't join tonight, we're happy to join you. We're happy to have viewers out there join us. We welcome all viewers and listeners in Lobo Nation to the Pitt Press and 505 Sports Venture Foundation. This collaboration called Together We Howl. It's a virtual series lineup of live streams, and you also can get them in podcast form. That's the first time I've ever said y'all. Centered around the UNM Athletic Department. It will take place on Wednesdays during the summer. Tonight is your first episode. The series will feature interviews with coaches and student athletes, highlight community involvement, and provide viewers with an inside look at who they are on and off the field, as well as why NIL is an essential part of their experience. We'll keep you updated on future shows over the summer on our social media channels, Pitt Press, as well as 505 Sports Venture Foundation. Stronger together, louder forever. I will start with our first guest tonight, and he's the first ever general manager of the University of New Mexico football team. He joined the Lobo family in February 2025, brings a wealth of experience in coaching, player personnel, roster building. Spent 5 years refining his expertise in team development before arriving at the University of New Mexico. He held key leadership roles at Memphis, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech, UConn, and Virginia Tech, helping programs achieve rank wins, conference championships, and national recognition. He's a former tight end and a long snapper at North Texas, which, side note, still one of the best nicknames, the Mean Green. His deep-rooted knowledge of the game will help impact Lobo football. His name is Beau Davidson. Beau, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Appreciate the intro.
I
Very nice.
I hope that was I hope you did enjoy that. All right, and of course, our next guest, I think needs no introduction. If you are watching, then you probably know who he is. Founder of 505 Sports Venture Foundation, the one, the only, Mr. Kurt Roth. Kurt, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Ryan. I just want to say I'm glad to be here, and thanks for putting this together. I also want to shout out from our team, the 505 team, Brian Sandrock, who initiated sort of this concept and has really done a lot of work behind the scenes to get it up. And I'm really looking forward to it. I want to say just briefly before we get to the main football stuff, people have been asking us recently with this incoming revenue share, and I know most of the world doesn't understand what's happening because we barely do. But 505 SVF is not going anywhere. My co-guest here can attest. This weekend, myself and my chief of staff, Nancy Marquez, met and signed 11 new Lobos to NIL deals. And we're going to really work really hard with these kids now to get into the public. You'll see them more and more in public, in businesses, and especially community and charity events. So we're super excited about the future of 505, and we're super excited about the collaboration with the Pitt Press and today UNM Football. So thanks for having me.
Kurt, no, it's always a pleasure. This was a collaboration, and you picked up the phone and called myself and Eric. So this is your doing. I will say two things. House clean. I can't even think of the phrase. I'm sorry. Topics with Beau and Kurt tonight mostly Beau will revolve around football scouting and the importance of NIL, name, image, and likeness. If you have watching, if you have any questions, this isn't an episode of the Pitt Press Live, so I can't be my normal self. I'm trying to be a cordial host tonight, which I will be. This is not my show tonight. Side note, and that's the only sense of humor I think I can get out tonight. But if you have any questions for Beau or Kurt, please feel free to submit them on X or YouTube. I guess how to describe this, it's more of a town hall forum setting, so please join the conversation. Kurt, I don't know if you have anything else to say. I know you kind of said it. That's just how I kind of coordinated my script. The floor is yours if you have anything else to say. I don't mean to put you back on the spot.
Well, no, not much. We're excited. Like I said, we met with 11 new UNM student athletes who are here to play football. We are been working closely with the football staff, Beau, Gianna, Coach Eck, and the rest of the staff. And we are super excited. There's a product coming out starting this week. Practice, guys on the field. As I told all the guys we met, you'll see me on the field quite a bit in the summer in the heat. I'll have a nice Panama hat and a cold drink, and I'll be cheering for them. So we're really excited. We're counting down the days to Ann Arbor.
I will be going to Detroit, and Kurt, I'll get to see the Mets play the Tigers. Side note there. I keep looking at my phone, and the United app, I swore, said 4 months. Said 4 months. It counts down the days. I thought it said like 4 months ago. Last week, I don't know where time goes. It is now down to 2 days, 23 hours. No, excuse me, 2 months, 23 days, and 14 hours. We're 87 days away from kickoff when UNM takes on Michigan on NBC at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. I think, Beau, I'll start here with you with this question. What's a general message for Albuquerque UNM alumni, UNM fans, and maybe why they should come out and support the UNM football team this fall?
Well, I'm gonna start real quick and echo what Kurt just said. The 505 is staying, and we need them, and they've done a hell of a job, and we wouldn't be able to do what we've done this past semester without them. So thank you to everybody that's part of that group.
I should have given you the floor first. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows how important those guys are to us. I mean, first of all, we have you are New Mexico football. This city, it's your football team. Why would you not come out? I worked at a place with probably one of the better fan bases, and the population of the city was probably 45,000. I think Albuquerque's right at 560, and they would sell out their stadium every week. There's no reason we can't do that. So come out, support. I mean, we have a hell of a head coach, probably the best in the country, if not the best, and he's not going anywhere after a year, so you might as well come out. Not to stir up anything for that Utah State game or anything. We got a lot of good recruits that came in, and they're going to put a good product on the field. And we need you guys out there to come be that 12th man. That makes a difference. The fans can win a couple games for us. So,
what are your thoughts on? And I'll start here. What are your thoughts on recent efforts to limit the transfer portal window for NCAA football to only once per year, as opposed to twice? Would it make your job easier?
yes. to put it lightly, yes. It made my job a lot easier, but I really don't care what they do as long as they're consistent and quit changing what they're doing. Either way, they're probably going to get it wrong, but let's be consistently wrong so I can figure out a way to fix it. The problem is the inconsistency. It changes every 6 months. There's a new rule. There's a new blanket waiver. There's, let's give this kid another year, but not this kid for whatever. It just keep the rules the same, and I'll get it figured out. So I think it would be good. I don't know if they'll do it, but yes, it would help me a lot.
Kurt, I will pose this question to you. Would it make a difference to you from the, and I know things are evolving. And I told you today, I wish maybe I had gone to business school. So, Beau, I'm sorry you're going to get this joke again when it comes to me learning about revenue sharing and all this. My U.S. history degree and journalism degree are hard at work, and I can use them as toilet paper. But would it make a difference for you, Kurt, when it opposed to football? And not to harp on basketball, it's for football, but I think throwing the basketball element into that, would it make it easier for you for both football and basketball to see that transfer portal down to one opening?
Well, basketball is now just one, but basketball season fits the school year differently and makes it more conducive to having one transfer portal period. With football, you have to realize that, especially this year with a whole new staff, uh, they started from next to nothing in January. Now you're recruiting student athletes who have to finish a semester, and then there's the summer, and then the football season starts. So if you have a portal at the end of the season and only one, you have a whole scenario where kids, and we've seen it. We've seen the spring portal referred to as the quarterback portal. You have a school with 3 or 4 solid guys at a position, and they realize in spring they're not going to play. They may be third or fourth on the depth chart. Well, what do? So it does give them an opportunity to move on after a spring semester. So I don't know how I would do it. I have heard of the thoughts about eliminating spring football and causing it to be like a more like a pro style with camps and students, actively being scouted. But I'm too old to figure it out now, so I'll let guys like Beau, who has to deal with it hands-on, deal with it, because I don't know if there's an easy solution until we kind of come along to the sense that at Division I level, it's a big business, and we need to treat it like that.
Well,
some of the talk is, if they do go to one, is moving it later towards the end of spring, and then allowing you to maybe have a few practices before that portal window, and then being able to keep some practices for after the portal window. That way you get a shot. Okay, these are the guys that may or may not go. These guys did go. Let's replace them. And now let's get a few practices with these new guys.
I think that would make sense.
Probably why they won't do it.
Right. No, I appreciate you chiming in on that one. And Kurt, that's where I said, for somebody who absolutely, college football is 1A for me, and then it's probably baseball. I love the New York Football Giants, and then I do love college basketball. Nothing beats March. It just, all of it hurts my head. So I apologize for that mishap in that question. I also just want to shout out to our listeners and viewers. Again, feel free to chime in with any questions. Again, this is for you on Twitter, or excuse me, X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, X, or YouTube. Again, if it's of PG rating, and it's directed towards Beau, Kurt, or both, I'll definitely post it on here. You can see it. Kurt and Beau will be able to see it, and they can give an answer. Beau, I'll start here with a little bit of history. I found this YouTube video a while back, and I remember I was very young in 1997, and it was BYU on YouTube. I found it on YouTube. It was BYU strolled into Albuquerque. There was a snowstorm, and UNM walked out with a victory, and they ended up it was a win that got them into the WAC championship, and they played Colorado State. They got themselves in the bowl game, the Insight.com Bowl. Under Dennis Franchione. We talked about that last night on our show. He's up for the College Football Hall of Fame, and he's on a ballot. I've mentioned probably to you when we met about this that there was a time under Rocky where you could not walk around the concourse of the stadium because it was packed. And Lobo football about 20 years ago, I think, meant something to me as I was still in high school, and meant a lot to a lot of people in this community. It has struggled to get consistent and consistently attended. What is your sales pitch to Lobo fans, and why should they buy season tickets this year? I know that's kind of the same question as the first one I asked, but I wanted to kind of ask it like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's your team. It's your NFL team. What else are you doing on Saturday? Come out and support. You've got kids, and you got a coach that he's been out in the community. He's making everyone part of this. And I think he's working his butt off to do that. I mean, I don't know of any event that he's turned down yet since he's been here. I mean, he'll go talk to anybody, go see anybody. We're going to get our players out in the community, the Little League football teams, show up to some practices. Again, it's going to be a good product. We're going to win games. But we need the support. If we don't have the support, I mean, we're going to struggle out there. We need that 12th man. And I mean, it's a great family opportunity. And I know our leadership, Lovo, they've been working their ass off to get family events, tailgating, all sorts of in-game activities. So it is a more enjoyable experience.
Kurt, maybe throw that your way.
Well, I think Beau said it best. First, Coach Eckert has been everywhere. You ask him, he'll show up. But the team's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's a cool venue. Granted, it could be updated, and I think it will be in the very near future. But you're out in the weather. It's beautiful most of the time. We're going to have our tailgates again with our friends, the Pinos, which are legendary. So we want people to come out early, hang out with us. And I am highly confident that this is going to be a very competitive team. Leading up to a run at the conference championship, I don't think, despite what the pundits say, that's out of the question. And we have one of the most interesting home games on the schedule in years, with one of our former employees showing up with a different team. That game should be raucous. And you want to be at all these games because you want to grow as a fan with the team and see the success. And I'm really excited.
I got to think about a couple of my friends. A good chunk of us are like the Pinos, St. Pius grads, my buddies. There is another game marked. I get the importance of October 25th, but there's also another game. It's September 27th, and it's from the team down south. It's New Mexico State. So I'm just going to point that out to both of you.
Oh yeah, no, we got basically 2 rivalry games, and I mean, it's going to be a great atmosphere. We need the people there to get that stadium rocking. Absolutely.
I think, and this is from my perspective, I'm being very selfish today and saying I, but I've been in the media in this town, more so lately with the start of this channel. But I have absolutely it's a breath of fresh air. As I've said, I've absolutely fallen in love with Coach Jason Eck. What is it like day-to-day interactions with him, Beau?
First of all, he's just a good human in general. I mean, there's a lot of not good people in college football. He's one of the best people I've ever been around. But day to day, I mean, we're talking about the roster. We're talking about possible transfer portal guys. We're talking about high school guys. We'll watch film together. We'll talk about, how many numbers we need at each position. Where do we need to get better? Where are the holes in the roster? So we'll look at that and see if we can find talent to upgrade the talent we already have. So that's pretty much our day to day. We'll watch film together and we'll just talk through different scenarios.
Kurt, I've asked you this when you've been on, and Mackenzie Bishop, and congrats to Mackenzie. Your interactions with Jason Eck and your thoughts of him thus far.
Oh no, it's been great. We've enjoyed it immensely. Nancy and I have spent some time with the coach and his wife, who's a full-time. Well, she's a solid mom with a bunch of kids running all over the place, and a big-time football woman. She was president of the United States Football Coaches Association. It's a team effort. You just can't be but be enthusiastic when you're around them. And I've had a lot of time in the office with the kids. We've also started with him. We had a cigar. What's that brown stuff that comes in? I don't remember. Cigar and beverage event that he came to and was a smashing success. And he's up for anything, and his enthusiasm is just contagious. I know, I am confident, and I've been following sports for 63 years since I watched my first game, and I believe in it. You can feel it from the guy. So he's just great. He came by Saturday, and we had a luncheon, a lunch with some of the new guys who we signed, the 11 new players. They had a bunch of them had family members, and he was, right in the middle. He's encouraging. You just, again, you just can't help but feel the enthusiasm. It is contagious.
Yeah, it surely is. I'm a connoisseur of the EA college football game. Kurt, you probably know that. But anyway, I was excited to see that him and the offensive defensive coordinator were in the game. So that, I don't know, that excited me as well. Again, I want to throw it out there to our listeners and viewers. I don't usually people chime in right away on our show because the Knicks or Mets lost. To give me a hard time. People have been very quiet tonight, but again, feel free to comment on X, on YouTube, and it looks like I do have one comment now.
Is it G-rated?
John Romero. It's G-rated. No question. This is from an Aggie. John Romero. No questions. I'm a bit intimidated by Mr. Davidson. He can likely rip my head off in 7 seconds flat. Do listen to Kurt's Pro View show every week. Always informative and top notch. I will be at the home games. So I'm sure that's good to hear. Yeah. My mom wanted me to play offensive line. I'm 5'9" and now a little over 200 pounds because I gained weight. But anyway, I'm intimidated as well. I'll ask this question for you, Beau. How does your role, or how do you envision your role evolving after this football season is complete? Do you have any other job duties?
Are you saying after the season or once this class is signed and done? Because my season's a little different than the actual football season. And it's like once this class is signed and done, then I'm kind of looking at, okay, this is who we've signed. This is who we have now. Now let's find the deficiencies again. Okay. Let's go through official visits. Let's go through camps. How did we handle everything? And it's just like a football game. The game ends and then we're going to go back. We're going to look at the film. What can we do better? So find the deficiencies. Who do we need to replace at the end of the season? Who's leaving? Okay. I'll start scouting other teams looking to replace those problems. And then usually about week 4 is when the agents start calling. And, hey, Johnny's going in the portal after the season, or Johnny's going to redshirt now. Are y'all interested? What's the total? All that type of stuff. And I'm calling agents saying, hey, this is what I need. Who's going in? And so that's in each game I'm scouting essentially. After every pregame, I'm out there with a notebook. I'm not grabbing popcorn and a Coke. I'm trying to see what they got on the other sideline. I'm getting a live eval during warmups. Size them up after the game. But if one of their guys hops in the portal, there'll be a lot of unhappy Michigan kids that aren't playing, after the game. They might want to come down here.
That's I think that's what's kind of evolved with NIL, and the big bad SEC is you're there and you could start somewhere else, like at a New Mexico.
Right.
I think I was listening to Joel Klatt the other day of Fox Sports, and he was talking about that. Beau, we had you on about 2 months ago, and you said that one of your biggest challenges is valuing players and what they're worth. Have you developed a strategy for valuing recruiting targets with more job experience?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a system built probably about 3 years ago when this was kind of all taking place. But talking to, GMs in college football, talking to GMs in the NFL, you basically have your total, whatever your pot is, whatever your, if you got $10 million, then you want to break down the different positions, assign a percentage of how much you're willing to spend on each position. And because if you put all your money into one position, the rest of the team is going to be terrible. I can't just go get one guy and he changes the team. I've got to get a full roster. And I think that's what's a little bit different between football and basketball. And I'm saying basketball because I think about when I was at Syracuse and Carmelo he was on the team, and he pretty much ran that team, and he was the one superstar with good players around him. But I've got to get a lot more good players, and I can't just spend all my money on one guy and then not be able to fill the rest of the roster. So just talking to different people and, what are our needs, and that goes back to, what are we doing on offense? What are we doing on defense? What are the priority positions? I think you're always going to need a good quarterback. You're always going to need a front seven, always kind of work inside out.
Do you value talking to any tight ends more than maybe other positions because you played it? And are you evaluating long snappers?
Nah, it's really just team needs. I'm not partial to anybody, and really, I wanted to play offensive line. They just wouldn't let me. I was too skinny. Now I don't have the damn problem. But
you and I apparently have the same problem with wanting to play, or you wanting to play offensive line.
Yeah, I hopped on the scale the other day, and one of my assistants goes, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting that." I was like, "Thanks."
I had the flu in February, and I went to the doctor's office, and I stepped on the scale, and like I mentioned, I was a skinny shit for a very majority of my life, and I saw it go over 200, and I was like, "Oh boy." That's a new one. Kurt, I'm going to throw this one to you, and it's kind of a dumb one, but I think it's been resonated. We had two players on our show that had played for UNM and then went and found themselves at Idaho, and their names are escaping me, and I feel terrible. But they mentioned, trying to get butts in the seats in University Stadium. How does filling up University Stadium benefit men's basketball, women's basketball, and the other sports in your mind?
Oh, well, I mean, it's bottom line. There's so much growth potential there. There's so much to be done and so much room for improvement. I mean, it's a bottom line number. You start filling that stadium and not only with ticket sales and concessions and all the obvious stuff, but then you get public excitement and the donations increase. People want to be part of it. Beau said it, and we've been saying it for forever. And I go back to 1973 when I walked onto campus for the first time. UNM football and UNM basketball are the professional teams. They're the teams that have had national success. And you're not going to the stadium on Sunday to watch a game. You're going on Saturday. And with NIL and your ability to contribute directly, not through an athletic department and then decides how to apportion your money. You want to support UNM football, you can make that financial contribution directly to UNM football. So in essence, you can buy stock in the Lobos. And obviously, a successful team, more people want to buy stock. So the canvas is really bare, and we can create with fan support, with this staff, and of course with the personnel on the field, we can create a great product that just will resonate through not only Albuquerque, but basically 95% of the state, except for that little city down south near El Paso. But the rest of the state are going to be Lobo fans. And the opportunity's there, and it's huge.
I think the other part of that is, other sports are using our game as a recruiting tool. On an official visit, they'll come to a football game. When you walk into a stadium and it's full, that changes the minds of children. It really does. And then we have OVs happening at the same time. And when those, I mean, myself, when I walked into the pit, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I mean, it's jumping. And I've been to UConn, I've been to Syracuse. That place was louder than both those. I mean, it wasn't even close. And that changes the perception of these recruits. Because a lot of people don't know what's here. And when we get them here and we show them, they're like, wow, this is way better than I thought. Now imagine, okay, they see this plus a full stadium. It changes everything.
Yeah, no doubt. I have been part of that, especially bringing basketball players or recruits onto the football field. And when there's been decent crowds over the years, and the press and the social media has put that out that so and so is going to be on the field, then they're recognized. Their names can be called out. There's a little cheer. Kids show up. Young kids want to get autographs. So yeah, it is an incredible recruiting tool for all. It's not only a recruiting tool for athletes. I mean, a lot of college kids make their decision based on the weekend around big time sports. I had a relative years ago. She couldn't tell you a football from a hockey puck, but she went to Michigan on a weekend. There happened to be a football game, and her mom, a doctor, went out Friday night and then tailgated Saturday. And she was a microbiologist or something. She said, I'm coming here because these weekends are super great. And so not only does it recruit student athletes, it recruits students who want to be a part of that. And it's huge. And I have to just pat 505 on the back. When we started it, we focused on basketball, and my goal was to fill the student section. And a few times last year that happened. We sold it out. I think this year that'll happen even more, and it's just something to build on. It impacts the entire school, not just recruits.
I thought that Danny moving the student section to the north end zone, 2 years ago, was a great idea. I mean, you're kind of on top of the field there, kind of like the pit where you're behind the north basket. I think that would be cool. I thought the students did a good job this year with basketball, Kurt. I think it was a raucous crowd. Again, I'm really quite shocked. This is a kind of a town hall forum. Like I said, nobody's throwing stones at me for the Knicks or Mets right now. Please feel free to chime in if you have a question for Kurt or you have a question for Beau Davidson, the general manager of the UNM football team. Roughly here for about another 25 minutes, I think. So feel free to chime in. Beau, what has impressed you kind of the most about maybe UNM thus far since you've been here since February?
I think the facilities were way better than what I thought they were going to be. Just the whole little athletic village we have over here, I think it's a great setup. I think campus is a lot nicer than what I expected. I usually do my research when I about to take a job, and might have called a few people that were here last year, and it was way better than what I was told, so and I think we have really good bones around here. We really do. I think there's some cosmetic things we can improve on inside the building. There's a few things that need to be updated. I don't think they're crazy things, but I think they're things that'll help move us forward. I mean, the space here, the practice facility, as far as 2 grass fields and an indoor, I mean, we got better space than a lot of schools. I mean, we got a full 100 yards of 3 fields to practice on. I mean, Georgia Tech, we didn't have that. Our indoor wasn't a full 100. Our grass field wasn't a full 100. Texas Tech, all that money they have, their indoor's not 100. It's a great setup. It really is. We have the tools here to win. There's a few little things we need.
I was unaware of that with Texas Tech. That's quite shocking. Does Brian Urlacher on the field help? Does that change anybody's mind?
I think it would help me. I don't. Some of these young guys, I don't know. I don't think it resonates as much as it should. These young guys are looking ahead. They don't look back as much as they should. But I still think it's important, and I think it's still important that he's recognized, and all the previous guys that were great players here get recognized, and they're up in our indoor. When you walk around this building, all their jerseys are up on the wall. It's pretty cool. A lot of names I didn't know. I mean, then you just walk through and you're like, wow, there's a bunch of guys that played in the NFL here. That's pretty cool.
Hey, I tell people that all the time. The 4 years I was here, when we played in the WAC and with Utah and BYU and Arizona State, we had 9 guys go play in the NFL. 4 of them played in the Super Bowl. So there's a history here, and we can, as Beau said, the bones are good, the facilities are good. Saturdays in the fall here are great. Like, we should fill this place up, and we can.
Bo, this is another question for you. Are there any kind of, other than maybe winning a national championship, are there any similarities that you've seen between UConn and UNM because of basketball?
I mean, yeah, there's the buzz for the basketball team, and maybe the football team gets a little overlooked. And it's funny. I talked to the assistant athletic director at UConn, and we were talking about the rev share and everything. And I was just telling them how important it is. You take that rev share from basketball and you push it into football, and you get football and you get basketball going. You get those 2 sports going, the university is going to take off. All the other sports are going to take off, and it's going to be good for everybody. It's going to be good for the university. It's going to be good for the city, and it's going to be good for the student athletes. And we can get these 2 going in motion in the right direction. This place is going to be a sleeping giant, or is a sleeping giant. We just got to wake it up.
For somebody who studied World War II in college, that's a beautiful thing to hear. I'm going to avoid the term men's basketball. I want to ask you about somebody that I met at the end of spring camp. We had him on the show. He is your associate head coach and special teams coordinator. His name is Daniel DePrado. Bo, can you speak to him? I love talking to him.
Say again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was going to ask about Daniel DePrado, and we had him on the show. I met him.
Juice. He's got a little juice to him. Yeah.
Can you describe him and talk about him? Because he is. I thought he was
fiery awesome. Juice. I mean, he's a fiery individual. He tweets more than anybody I know. He's got special texts and all sorts of stuff. I mean, for an old guy like me, he knows how to do all that technology stuff. He's very detail oriented when it comes to the special teams. He's making just like all of us. We're out in the community. I mean, he's at all the baseball games. He's at softball games. My family just got here. I'm dragging them out to everything now. So no, he's a good one. And he's got a lot of experience too. Been around a lot of good programs.
I love talking to him. Kurt, I heard you kind of, I think, gasp it when I asked about Coach DePrado. I don't know if you know him. Do you have anything to say about him?
No, we've run into each other all over the place. We're at a Letterman's Awards event, and I see him all the time at the facility. Totally upbeat, gung ho. He was there. I saw him Saturday when we had the new guys in. I'm not. I am generally very cautious, and I don't say I am a glass half full guy. But I am super enthusiastic about this crew. It's a blast. And if you're around positive people in any business, you kind of get a feeling, unless they're completely out of their mind, that you can feel the success. You can feel the potential. And I certainly feel that here, from the top down. These guys are excited to be here. And it's just contagious. I mean, I'm a broken record, but that's the way I feel. Nancy and I spent a lot of time with last year's staff, and we really enjoyed them, but it was a more buttoned down, kind of analytic, kind of a little weird, but attractive, but the enthusiasm didn't come across like this group and these coaches do.
Yeah, I compared his special text, Bo, to like Cam Newton. I was like, he does tweet a lot. The Twitter X destroyed.
It's funny because he called me during this. They're on the road doing camps, and he's got a question. So
we're wrapping this up about 15 minutes.
No, we're good.
Yeah,
as long as you want to go, we can go.
Again, I'm opening up the forum. Again, if you have any questions for Beau Davidson or Kurt Roth about UNM football and donating and helping UNM football needing to where it needs to get. This is what Together We Howl is for. Beau, I'm going to ask you, I don't think I didn't ask you this when we had you on a couple months ago. And I'm going to butcher I continue to butcher his last name, but my last name gets turned into an Annie song instead of tomorrow. Luke Schleusner, the offensive coordinator, he's been with Eck for 3 seasons. What can you say about him?
He's going to put us in the right position. He's going to use what we have. If I bring in 5 tight ends or 10 receivers, he's going to figure out the right scheme to use to score points. I mean, he's like a mad scientist, very intellectual, smart guy, and he's going to get the job done.
I think a lot of Lobo fans, want to hear that. And then I'll switch gears to the other side of the ball, the defensive side with Spence Nowinski. What a fantastic name. The defensive coordinator. He was at Memphis last year. He was at Ohio. What can you say about him?
There's a lot of things I could say about him, but I probably can't right here. No, he's he's definitely a motivator, and again, just a smart guy that he's been at programs where maybe he didn't have a lot of talent, but they've always been consistently good, and he figures out a way to use the different chess pieces to win the game.
That resonates well with me and probably many Lobo fans.
You catch some of his audio?
I'll talk to him here soon enough, and I'll probably appreciate it. I got the mouth of a sailor, and I'm watching it on the show, but I'll appreciate it. My dad raised me on Animal House and Ghostbusters and Blazing Saddles. I think I should fit.
There you go.
Yeah. Beau, what I wanted to ask you, and I'll probably get Kurt's thoughts because it might be from a fan perspective. When I saw the schedule drop with actual TV times, they moved 3 games to Friday. I will be at all these games, and I'm probably more excited to go to the Rose Bowl than the Big House. So I'm looking forward to both games, and then Allegiant Stadium, which I'm also looking forward to. That's me being selfish once again. When you have a game that opens up the season at a Michigan on NBC at 5:00 local time, what is that? I think it's big time football, and that's where I know you and the staff want to be at. But when you see that, I mean, does that not get you amped up?
Yeah, I mean, it gets us excited as a staff. I mean, I've been in these games before. It gets the kids excited. It helps with recruiting. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to kids that I'm battling SEC schools, and I'm like, hey, we're going to go play these 2 teams. You can go prove that you can do that at that level, and then you're going to roll into a conference that you're going to dominate, and you're not going to get all beat up. And that excited them. I get to roll in the Big House to start. I'm going to go play in the Rose Bowl. I'm going to go play where the Raiders play and where I may play someday when I'm playing for the Raiders, So they want to go play on the blue turf. Like stuff like that excited the recruits, and it helped us in recruiting.
Yeah, Boise's also a special place. I've been there. I'm looking forward to going to there, and I get to stay with a friend of mine. Kurt, I'll ask you as a fan. You've been all over the country, but going to the Big House and maybe the Rose Bowl in Boise State, does that amp you up?
Yeah. Oh no, you've got to. I mean, in the past, I had sort of downplayed going to those big games because I didn't like that they were in essence body bag games. We weren't going to compete. I think this team will compete on a different level. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to return to the Rose Bowl. I haven't been there in I don't know, 40 years. The last time I was there, I saw the Giants smoke the Broncos in the Super Bowl, and that was fun. But I like LA. We spend a lot. I have family in California, so going to California is always fun. But yeah, those are great. I mean, those games, every road game, and I've always said this about basketball. I love going to watch my team win on the road. There's no better feeling than shutting the fans up, walking off the field with a W, or if you're on the field, walking through the stands. Those are just great opportunities to be successful. And so, yeah, I mean, tough schedule. Let's face it. Two of those games, just first three, and then at Boise, always a pleasure. So yeah, and it'll be good to beat Boise because they're headed out to go play with Oregon State or some nonsense. So those teams all deserve a little bit of a spanking this year.
Man, you mentioned the Giant. You mentioned the 1986 Giants: Stan Reasons, Harry Carson, Carl Banks, Mark Bavaro, Phil Simms going 22 or 25. I'm very jealous you were at that game, Kurt. I was in my mother's womb. I know we can't. I had a list of do's and don'ts we can ask and can't ask. I will let maybe Beau or Kurt plead the fifth on this, but this is from Gilbert Chavez. What positions are we still needing through the transfer portal? If you are not allowed to answer that, I will let you guys give an answer.
I mean, I can't answer. It's, we're probably looking to get a little more depth on D-line, and that's really the one spot. And then it's really just depth spots. We found some good guys in the portal now. And that's what usually separates one team from another is how can you get that back end of your roster going? Because when those first when those starters get tired, you got to get those twos in there, and you don't want to fall off the map when those guys roll in. So now it's building a little depth, maybe getting some young guys in here that we can develop, and they can also get us some meaningful snaps as well to provide that depth.
Kurt, I'm going to ask you this one. And again, roughly about 10 minutes left. Feel free if you have any questions for Beau Davidson, the general manager of UNM Football, Kurt Roth, the chairman, founder of 505 Sports Venture Foundation. Kurt, you mentioned Oregon State and Washington State, but I wanted to I'm going to go back to John Romero here. I've rooted passionately for the Lobos for 5 decades, feel strongly Coach Eck exceptionally and extremely personable. Do believe his leadership and your key critical positions will take us to the promised land. Kurt, could I ask you what you make of conference realignment, or does it hurt your head too?
No, it's reality. I got asked questions about conference realignment, and then people start wringing their hands, and I'm like, well, wait, we're still University of New Mexico. We'll take care of our house, and we'll beat whomever's on the schedule. I mean, I had to go through this in basketball just recently. We had top 25 in attendance. Smoked the regular season Mountain West, smoked the Big East team in the tournament. We're in the tournament for the second year. And 2 weeks after the season ended, we had no staff and no roster. And I tell people we were in a good position. And guess what? We were. We filled the staff. The roster is going to be really good because we've created this foundation. And the foundation at UNM is strong. So conference realignment, I can't do anything about that. It's ridiculous. So, 505 SVF is here to stay. And I think we've got, again, it's showed what happens in basketball. This is our opportunity for football. So get on the phone. The season tickets are one of the best bargains you're going to buy. Hey, I stopped in Whole Foods and bought 3 things. It was $60. I think for $90, you get 2 seats to every Lobo game. So what are you doing?
Beau, can I ask you about conference realignment and your thoughts?
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, if you want to go to a new conference, you want to go to the bigger conference, you got to win games and you got to fill up stadiums. It's that simple. And to do that, to win games, we got to have something to give these players, to get those players in here to beat the teams we need to beat. And unfortunately, that costs money. These positions are not cheap. I mean, I've got a list here. Quarterbacks, I mean, that number can be unlimited. It really can. It's whatever money you can put together. Running backs, and these are P4 numbers. And this is just me talking to people at other SEC schools, Big Ten schools. I've got running backs at 350, wide receivers. I've got them about 350. And I mean, I've got a buddy at one school. They're using what is our entire budget on two receivers. I mean, that just kind of gives you an idea of what these positions cost. O-line about 450, tight ends 200, D tackles anywhere from 500 to 600, D ends 500, 600. Linebackers are going for 300, safeties 250, and corners 400. And I don't think people completely understand how large those numbers are and what we're competing against. And I'm not saying we need that right now, but we need to get there. And I think we can if everybody in this city gets behind us. I really do. And I mean, if we get the support of this city, like I know we can, and I know these people want to be part of it, come be part of it. And I think we can get there.
Kurt, I wanted to do this for you, just in case people want to reach out. I'll start with our website. If you have any information, you can go to the Pit Press NM. Email us if you have any information, the pitpress@nm@gmail.com. Kurt, I'm going to throw this up here for you. This is info@505sports.org and 505-305-4729. Those are on the website. If they're changed, let me know.
No, those numbers are all accurate. And
Okay.
again, all you got to do is email us. You'll get an email back from me with my phone number on it. So we want to talk to everyone who's interested.
And you can find that information at 505sports.org. The reason I put our email address up there was if we can't answer it and it's kind of intended for Kurt and the 505 Sports Venture Foundation, we'll get it over to them. Kurt, I'll start with you and then I'll give Beau the final. I always make a joke on our show, final thoughts like Jerry Springer, but a final thought. And again, at least while we're still on, if you have any questions or comments for Kurt Roth or Beau Davidson, please chime in. Kurt, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts? And I know what you're going to say, but how can people rally and help out the football team?
I'll buy stock in your Lobos. That's all you need to do. And I get people tell me in the beginning, well, you should talk to this guy and that guy. If you can give us $10, we're happy. We have a monthly reoccurring thing where you have access to the website. It's $25. That's like a 2 drinks at Starbucks. So you want to be part of it, you can. We will have, as we go forward, as this revenue sharing world becomes reality and UNM starts becoming part of this. Hey, they weren't allowed to be part of it until recently. And so we are going to be at 505. We are going to be working with our guys and gals in the community, getting out to meet people, being at public events. And we want the public and we want the Lobo fans to be part of it. No contribution, no effort, no suggestion is too small or dismissed. We want your help and be part of the team. It's going to be a winning team. Join now. Get on the bandwagon early while there's room.
Beau, I'll throw it over to you.
I kind of reiterate, like, we need your support. I mean, it's a new era of college football. It takes money to win. It always has, but
Yeah.
It's just kind of out there now. I looked at the numbers at Memphis. I think we were sitting around 5 million. That's where we were sitting, and we were a top 25 team. We still didn't win the conference, but I think if you get in that 5 to 8 million range, you're a consistent conference champion. And then you get to that 10 to 12, now you're maybe knocking off some P4 teams. You get to that 13, 15, you're sneaking in the playoff and you're knocking somebody off there. And there's enough people in this city to make that happen. We just got to get you out here and come be part of it. I mean, I've said it already, it's a sleeping giant. And one of your questions earlier, like, getting people in the stands, if y'all have feedback as fans, what can we do to get you here? The obvious answer is win games. I get that, but what else? We got open ears too. We want to see what y'all want too. So
I appreciate that, and that's I think what this series is for. I know when, we tried to stick to an hour, looks like I got one more comment here. Albuquerque has almost 1 million people. If everyone that could afford it give a little, it would be huge. I think I'm in agreement with that. Kurt, you raised your
That's
hand.
it. That's it. Buy stock. Buy a couple of shares. Let's go.
And like I said, it's good for everybody. It's going to bring people to the city. It brings money to businesses. It brings money to hotels. It will make this place grow exponentially.
No doubt about it. We have an economic impact study that showed, over $100 million could be brought into this by 2 successful Division I teams into the city and state. It happens when it happens all over the country. It's time for it to happen here.
Kurt Roth, chairman, founder of 505 Sports Venture Foundation. It doesn't matter when it's on our show or this, it's always a pleasure for Eric and I. We've appreciated you. And Beau Davidson, the UNM general manager, UNM football general manager. I appreciate your time tonight and getting to reach out to the fans. We will keep everybody posted on our socials about the next episode. Again, it'll be on a Wednesday night. We're going to continue it throughout the summer. I'm sure if Beau ever just wants to say, hey, I'd like to come on, Beau, you're always welcome on our show as well. I know you're a busy guy, but I appreciate that. And Kurt, we appreciate you too. And I just, again, I just want to throw this out there again. If you have any questions for Eric and I, I'm more on the editorial side, the pitpressnm@gmail.com. If it's pertaining to that, we can get it over to, if it's a question and, in regards to like a donation, we'll get it over to 505 Sports Venture Foundation. You'll go here, 505sports.org, and then 505 Sports, the contact is info@505sports.org or 505-305-4729. Kurt and Beau, I really appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for kicking off this series with the Pit Press, Eric and I tonight, and Nick Nunez and Ed Nunez and Jacob Neff. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Appreciate it.
Of course. And everybody have a good one. From the Pit Press side, we will not have a show tomorrow night. Not going to compete with Pacers, Thunder. We'll be back next week. And then again, look out for our next edition of Together We Howl. Everybody have a great Wednesday night.